Hello Gearfax friends, yet another video about equalization, an area that's become quite fascinating for me lately. This is the EQ20 graphic equalizer from Boss. As you can see, it's quite a bit more in-depth than your average equalizer pedal. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bands plus master level. Also a nifty screen that lights up whenever you change anything. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but the gauges do actually move. That light will go off after a little while, but you can override it there as well just by pressing light. This is my basic sound. Strings are a little bit old, as you can hear. So let's try to brighten up that sound by starting with a nice scoop. Cut out a little bit of the middle. Boost the lower end. About there should be right. More treble needed. This is just in my opinion too. You might have different ideas about what sounds good with your instrument. But yeah, I think we've got a bit more ring in the strings there. Let's accentuate the whole pattern slightly. And experiment with these guys. There's all kinds of different possibilities with EQ, more than you might think. You know, I may even reduce the bass a little there. Yeah, for me that's a nice pattern because I like the sound quite sparkly and I let the bass player sort of handle that lower end. And of course, scooping is a classic equalization form. The other classic form is to do the exact opposite. Make a hill in the middle. Usually I'll find the sound comes through a bit more boxy, or what I describe as boxy, than that. But every pedal has its own personality, of course. Yeah, see, that's what I describe as the boxy sound. Where it sounds kind of muffled. It's often associated with a classic sort of British band sound. But of course we can try a whole lot of different things. It's recommended that you don't do anything too extreme, like have this one up, for example, and everything else down. That just generally results in wasting time. Usually you'll find, and again I say this is just a general rule, but usually you'll find a nice even curve from point A to point B, the top of your frequencies, will work best. So this, for example, has just come through way too sparkly, but it has inspired me to be thinking about these frequencies around here, and maybe that's kind of a sweet spot for my guitar. Because like I said before, I do like my sound quite sparkly. That's a little bit too pinched, I think. But still, just by randomly coming up with theories and ideas, sometimes you can come across a good frequency shape, or a good equalization shape. Like that one's quite smooth and jazzy, I think. And of course you've got the tone control on your guitar and the frequency controls on your amplifier, so try combinations of all three and see how it comes up. Okay, just on a different camera angle now, and I know it's a little hard to see, but we have the pedal on the right here which can switch us between manual and memory control. Manual obviously is manual, and then memory, we can use our select button here to go through a whole series, well 10, preset shapes that you like. So come up with 10 different shapes, save the ones that you like into each of the 10 slots by holding down these two buttons here together. As you can see, they're linked by a bracket with right in between. And eventually you'll end up with 10 presets or 10 patches that might work really well with, I don't know, just your different moods or a sequence of different songs that you're playing at a gig. Equalization has many personalities and many uses, so I really like the EQ20's ability to save all these patches. That's a really good thing. Of course, you can bypass the entire pedal, and let's not ignore the master level control there, which can be a really good way to balance out the loudness of each of your patches, but also it's a really good quick override for your entire rig if you need to really quickly cut the volume. As you can hear, it doesn't cut it right out though, because you've got to remember this is a boost signal here. What it's doing is boosting the power of your guitar input up here. It's not just a master volume control for the pedal itself. It's either cutting or boosting the amount of signal it's letting through, and that's why when the level's on absolute 0, or actually minus 15 decibels, you're still going to get some of that guitar signal coming through. Let's see if these sliders will still affect our sound when things are on -15. Yep, so even at -15 decibels where you're cutting your signal quite a lot, the sliders will still have a strong effect on your equalization. And of course you can go to other extremes, take it right up to +15. And then it will start to act like a boost pedal. So if you're running into a distortion pedal or a tube amp or something like that, that will really greatly change the character of your sound. And it wouldn't be a Gearfax video without having a look at what's on the back. We've got our output there. 2 modes, you can add 4 decibels or you can just switch it to line level input for guitar and bass. And there's our input on the left. And now it sleeps. I hope you found that video informative, guys. Thanks for liking, commenting, or subscribing, and look forward to seeing you next time on Gearfax when my voice is a little bit better.